defend or clarify when comments like the Secret Service, disarm them, and seeing what happens, or Second Amendment people will take care of it, does it become difficult to try to explain or clarify what is meant?
Well, I think the last 3 weeks, Donald Trump's been a very disciplined candidate. He went down to Mexico, met with the president down there, was very statesmanlike, has had delivered many policy speeches on immigration, national security, as well as unveiled his tax plan, as well as a child care benefit.
Upstage like last night with
He's
Secret
moving
Service.
upstage. I think that the public hears one thing and the media hears another, and then he's, I don't necessarily think that this was a big controversy. He said things like this.
What did you hear?
He said things like this before. He's basically putting up hypocrisy that Hillary Clinton she stands for gun control, yet she is protected by these service agents with guns. And one of the NRA's stances is the first thing you do to stop a bad guy with a gun is have a good guy with a gun. And there's a lot of people in Middle America, a lot of Republicans, who believe that, and that their self-defense is with their Second Amendment right to have a gun. And so he was just putting that out, just much like, a lot of these elites in Washington, D.C. send their children to these private schools that are all protected.
So you don't hear opening up a potential vulnerability, creating a potentially dangerous situation by Secret Service, disarming, and let her see what happens.
Well, I mean, that's what Secret Service is there for. He's just pointing out the hypocrisy at first gun control stance. If she really believes in the confiscation of guns and eliminating the Second Amendment, then she should have no problem with that. He was just pointing out hypocrisy and being a little tongue-in-cheek about it.
And what do you expect the message to be today? I mean, immigration has been a cornerstone of this campaign since announcing his candidacy, June of 2015. Today, he is at that luncheon. He will be speaking with the support of family members who lost family members from illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants. What's the expectation today?
I think that you'll hear a lot of what you've heard before about the building the wall, of enforcing some of the immigration practices that are currently on record, but basically, being more vigilant with them. He is looking to solidify his base. If you look at the polls, they've been tightening for Donald Trump. The reason they've been tightening for him is that he's been able to get up his base of support from Republicans from about 70% to 80% now, rivaling that of what Hillary Clinton is. And so you're seeing her speak to her base, one of what will be one of her bases of support as well, because they need to make sure they have their faces in line in order to go forward.
Does it become concerning at all for the Trump camp when you have, leading members of the GOP? Today's latest, Robert Gates, while fairly non-political, or at least that has been the feeling for many years, former CIA director, etc., would have this, Wall Street Journal op-ed today and essentially spell out why Donald Trump is unfit for presidency. He had criticisms for Hillary Clinton as well. What's the feeling from the Trump camp? We know that Donald Trump tweeted and essentially, dismissed the real merit of these comments, and even from the man himself. But overall, how concerning, disconcerting, or what?
I think you saw, was it this week or last week, that CIA director, Bill Clinton CIA director, came on Donald Trump's team and is advising him on national security issues. I don't think it's much of a surprise to insiders in D.C. that Robert Gates, who's a neocon, is supporting Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is a lot more hawkish when it comes to national security, and I think that that's a concern with her progressive base, to be honest with you, because she's trying to put herself more in the gov category, but she's got people like Robert Gates in her corner, so I think that also could cause concern with her base.
All right, Kelly Riddell, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks so much. All right, to learn more about the candidates' personal lives, watch The Essential starting tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern. Begins with unfinished business, Hillary Clinton's story, and that's followed by Trump's All Business, which starts at midnight, both airing tonight on CNN.
And can you explain to me why you recommend synthetic over cedar?
Superfood. Is that a real thing?
It's a great school, but is it the right one for her?
Is this really any better than the one you got last year?
If we consolidate suppliers, what's the savings say?
It's actually